Welcome back. Today we're diving deep into something pretty extraordinary, a kind of operator's manual for reality itself. We're going to look at a model that links the vastness of the cosmos right down to our own minds and how we live our lives day in and day out.
So let me ask you a question. Can you actually program your own reality? It sounds like science fiction, right? But what if you could understand and even steer your life like it was your own personal operating system? The whole idea here is that by truly mastering what's going on inside, you become the architect of everything that happens outside. So let's get into it.
All right, here's our plan. We'll start with the big idea. Then look at the universe's patterns. Connect that to your brain, dive into the mind's operating system, talk about becoming a new you, and finish with something called the Godhead protocol.
Okay, first up, a blueprint for reality, the fundamental tenet of a new operating system. You see, this whole model, it all rests on one single powerful idea, an idea that's been talked about for ages, from ancient philosophies like Hermeticism right up to today's metaphysics.
And here it is. The world without is a direct reflection of the world within. This is the absolute core of the whole thing. Think of it like this. Your internal world, your thoughts, your beliefs, your feelings, that's the cause. And the external world, your circumstances, what happens to you, that's the effect. It's a mirror. Simple as that.
All right, section 2, the universe's repeating patterns. This is what we could call the cosmic hardware. So, okay, if reality is an OS, what's the hardware? Where does it all run? Well, the answer seems to be literally written into the fabric of the universe, in its geometry, at every single scale. Just look at this. You've got spirals, you've got these toroidal, donut-like shapes, and they show up everywhere. I mean, from the scale of an entire galaxy, right down to the double helix of your DNA. It's not random. It's like a universal blueprint for how energy and information literally build themselves.
Now, this is where it gets really wild. This model here, it takes that same cosmic shape and applies it to how information itself flows. Think of it like a continuous loop. Information from the past gets pulled through this central point, the now, and expands out into the future, only to loop back around. It's this constant cycle of creating and condensing, and it's all happening in the present moment.
So this toroidal holoflux, it's a fancy term, but the key thing to remember is that this shape, this donut, it's a model for a perfectly balanced, self-sustaining system. It's always recycling and evolving information through that central point. It expands, it contracts, and it's constantly feeding itself. There's no waste. It's a perfect engine of creation.
And this isn't some brand new idea. Look at this chart. It shows how ancient wisdom, sacred geometry, mapped these very same shapes, the Platonic solids, onto different levels of being, from our physical body all the way up to what they called the Great Supreme Being. They saw that the universe and you're built from the same geometric code.
Which brings us to our next section, your brain's cosmic connection, the mental workspace. Okay, so we've got this incredible cosmic hardware, but how do we connect to it? How do we interface with it? Well, the idea is that our brain, that's our personal gateway.
Wow, I mean, just look at the comparison here. On one side, a galaxy. On the other, a model of the brain. The structural parallels are just undeniable. The point is, your brain isn't just some isolated lump of tissue. It mirrors the very structure of the cosmos. It's like it's a biological receiver, perfectly designed to tune into those universal fields of information.
So this really changes how we think about the brain. It's not just a generator of thoughts. It's more like a super complex antenna. This diagram calls it an event horizon, a place where all the infinite potential floating around in fields like zero-point energy gets collapsed and translated into your unique subjective reality. It's what creates that feeling of being you, the raw experience of life, what some call qualia.
Okay, let's move on. Section 4, the mind's operating system, the metaphysical software. So we've got the hardware, we've got the interface, but what's the software? The answer is consciousness itself. That's the operating system, and it runs on very specific laws of thought.
This is a really important one to get. The idea of the map versus the territory. See, the territory is, well, everything. Reality in its infinite, messy glory. We can't actually perceive all of that. So what do? We create a map inside our heads, a simplified model. And here's the kicker. We live our entire lives navigating the map, often completely forgetting it's not the real thing.
So how do we build this map? Through 3 main processes. We delete things, just ignoring certain information.
We distort things, kind of twisting reality to fit our beliefs, and we generalize, taking one experience and making it a rule for everything. Now, this is useful for survival, but it can also trap us. It can create a really poor, limited map of what's possible, especially when we start believing our map is reality.
And this old Hermetic saying puts it perfectly. The all is mind, the universe is mental. This just hammers home that central idea we started with. If the universe itself is fundamentally a mental construct, then it follows that by understanding the rules of your own mind, you can start to change your experience of that universe. Okay, so this is all great in theory, but how do we actually use it? That's what this next section is all about, becoming your new identity. This is the user interface. This is where we get practical and learn how to consciously work with our own OS through our habits and our beliefs.
This comes right out of the thinking in Atomic Habits. It's a game changer. There's this feedback loop, you see. Your habits reinforce who you think you are, and who you think you are drives your habits. So true change, it's not about changing what you do, it's about changing who you are. It's identity change. And every single action you take, no matter how small, is like casting a vote for the person you want to become.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Act is the blossom of thought. We spend so much energy fighting against our problems, the effect without, but we totally miss that we're secretly nurturing the cause right inside our own minds. If you really want to change your circumstances, you have to go to the root. You have to be willing to change your thoughts. And this is how you become the programmer of your own mind. This is literally the instruction manual. Using tools like Socratic questioning from cognitive behavioral therapy, you can start to debug your own code. You find a limiting belief, a bug, like I'm incompetent. Then you challenge it. You ask, where's the evidence for that? What's the evidence against it? And then you consciously write new code. You install a new empowering belief, like I am a capable person who is learning and growing. All right, our final section, the Godhead protocol, alignment, flow, and embodiment. This is where we tie everything together. The cosmic hardware, the mental software, the user interface, it all leads to this.
So what's the end game here? It's not about escaping reality. It's about achieving a perfect state of flow with it. It's about aligning your inner world so perfectly with the outer universe that they become one. This is about becoming a conscious co-creator, a divine architect of your own life. You choose the identity, the Godhead version of you, and then you build a world that reflects it.
And so we come full circle, right back to this image. That same toroidal, self-sustaining pattern that shapes the entire cosmos is also your pattern. It's the electromagnetic field of your own body. This isn't just a cool picture. It's a diagram of what perfect alignment looks like. That seamless, flowing connection between you, the microcosm, and the universe, the macrocosm.
So, what does this all mean? It means you have the blueprint. You have the operator's manual. The power and the responsibility is in your hands. You're not just a passenger. You are the architect. So the final question is a simple one. What are you going to build?